Canto 28, Ninth Bolgia, Sowers of Discord, Mohammed, Curio, Mosca de Lamberti, Bertrand de Born. Who could ever, even with unbound words, tell in full of the blood and wounds that I now saw, though he should narrate them many times? Every tongue would surely fail, because our language and our memory have little capacity to comprehend so much. If one gathered together all the people who ever, on the travailed earth of Apulia, groaning poured forth their blood on account of the Trojans, and in the long war that took such heaped spoils of rings, as Livy writes, who does not err? And the people who suffered wounds when resisting Robert Guiscard, and the others whose bones are still being collected at Ceperano, where every Apulian was a liar, and at Tagliacozzo, where old Allard won without arms, and this one showed his perforated, this one his truncated member, it would be nothing to equal the wretched mode of the ninth pocket. Surely a barrel, losing centerpiece or half-moon, is not so broken as one I saw torn open from the chin to the farting place. Between his legs dangled his intestines. The pluck was visible, in the wretched bag that makes shit of what is swallowed. While I was all absorbed in the sight of him, he, gazing back at me, with his hands opened up his breast, saying, "Now see how I spread myself. See how Mohammed is torn open. Ahead of me Ali goes weeping, his face cloven from chin to forelock. And all the others you see here were sowers of scandal and schism while they were alive, and therefore are they cloven in this way. There is a devil back there who carves us so cruelly, putting the edge of his sword to each in this ream, once we have circled through the suffering road, for the wounds have closed before any confronts him again. But who are you sniffing at us from up on the ridge, perhaps to delay going to the punishment decreed on your crimes?" "Death has not reached him yet, nor does guilt lead him," replied my master, "into torment. But so that he may have full experience, I, who am dead, must lead him through hell, down here from circle to circle. And this is as true as that I am speaking to you. More than 100 were they who, hearing him, stopped in the ditch to gaze up at me in amazement, forgetting their suffering. Now then, you who will perhaps shortly see the sun, tell brother Dolcino, if he does not want to follow me soon down here, to provide himself with enough food that the barrier of snow may give not the victory to the Novarese, which otherwise would not be easy to acquire." Holding one foot lifted to walk away, Mohammed spoke this word to me. Then, departing, he set it down. Another, whose throat was bored through, his nose cut up to his eyebrows, and with only one ear, stopping to gaze up at me in amazement with the others, first of the others opened his windpipe, which was all covered with crimson, and said, "O you whom guilt does not condemn, and whom I saw in Italy, if too close a resemblance does not deceive me, remember Pierre of Medicina, if you ever return to see the lovely plain sloping down from Vercelli to Marcabo, and tell the two best men of Fano, Messer Guido and Angiolello, that if foresight is not empty here, they will be thrown from their vessel in a weighted sack and drowned near Cattolica, thanks to the treachery of a wicked tyrant. Between the islands of Cyprus and Myolica, Neptune has never seen so great a sin done, not by pirates, not by Argolians. That traitor who sees with only one eye, who holds the city that my fellow wishes he had still to see, will have them come to parley. He will bring it about that they need no vows or prayers against the Focara wind. And I to him, "Show me and explain, if you wish me to carry news back up about you. Who is the one of the bitter sight?" Then he put his hand to the jaw of one of his companions and opened his mouth for him, crying, "This is he, and he cannot speak. He, in exile, drowned Caesar's doubts, affirming that one prepared always suffers from delay. Oh, how dismayed Curio seemed, with the tongue cut out of his throat, he who was so bold to speak. And one who had both hands cut off, lifting the stumps in the murky air so that the blood soiled his face, cried, "You will remember Mosca, too, who said, alas, a thing done is done, the seed of evil for the Tuscans." And I added, "And the death of your clan," so that he, piling grief on grief, walked off like a person mad with sorrow. But I remained to gaze at the host, and I saw something that I would fear, without more proof even to retell, except that my conscience makes me confident, the good companion that frees a man, if it wears the hauberk of knowing itself pure. I surely saw, and it seems I still see, a torso without a head walking like the others of the sorry flock, and his severed head he was holding up by the hair, dangling it from his hand like a lantern, and the head was gazing at us, saying, "Oh me!" Of himself he made a lamp for himself, and they were two in one, and one in two. How that can be, he knows who so disposes. When he was directly at the foot of the bridge, he raised his arm far up, head and all, to bring his words close to us, which were, "Now see my wretched punishment, you who go still breathing to view the dead, see if any is as great as this. And that you may take back news of me, know that I am Bertrand de Born, he who gave the young king the bad encouragements. I made father and son revolt against each other. Achitophel did no worse to Absalom and David with his evil proddings. Because I divided persons so joined, I carry my brain divided, alas, from its origin, which is in this trunk. Thus you observe in me the counter-suffering."